Good evening, friends. We'll give our stragglers 90 more seconds, and then we'll get this party started. Good evening, and welcome to the 2023 Citrus Heights State of the City. To begin, I'll ask you to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Welcome, everyone, to our fourth annual State of the City Address. For those who were able to join us for our welcome reception, we hope you enjoyed the local eats and drinks and the opportunity to connect with your city leaders. A big thank you to our Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce for hosting that welcome reception. How about it? If you're just now joining us, thank you for being here this evening. We're excited to have our residents, businesses, and more join us at this year's State of the City. The State of the City Address is our community's opportunity to hear from its leaders about the year's accomplishments and aspirations for the future. With that, I would like to welcome our first speaker of the evening, the Honorable Mayor Tim Schaefer.
Well, thanks, everyone. Just bring this up to a tall person's mode here. Everybody hear me okay? All right. So we've had a very busy year. My speech is a little bit long. It's about 40 minutes because we have a lot to talk about. So anyhow, I'll get started. Well, hello and welcome to the 2023 Citrus Heights State of the City. This is our fourth year hosting the event and our second year having it in person. As your Citrus Heights mayor, it's my honor to be speaking with you tonight. I'm grateful to see so many familiar faces and some new faces out from our community here. I want to extend a warm welcome to representatives from our boards, and commissions, our leaders in business, education, nonprofits, and our residents. I'd like to also take a moment to acknowledge my fellow council members and ask them to stand. Vice Mayor Brett Daniels. Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa. Councilmember Portia Middleton. And Councilmember Mary Jane Lopez Taft. Tonight we're celebrating hard-won successes, overcome hurdles, and exciting things to come from for our city. And we can't do that without acknowledging our city staff, the Citrus Heights Police Department in the audience, Our city staff is led by City Manager Ash Feeney, who will be joining me later tonight in the program. And leading our Citrus Heights Police Department, we're honored to have Chief Alex Turcotte here tonight. So how many of you joined earlier in the wonderful chamber event? I want to thank the Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce for hosting tonight's reception and for being such a great partner. It was very important to me that this be an opportunity for business leaders and community leaders to come together and connect and engage, have great conversations, and hopefully find opportunities to collaborate. I sincerely appreciate our chamber for creating the environment to make that happen. The purpose of the State of the City address is to provide transparent and accessible information to our citizens on how your local government and your community are doing. Tonight, I'm going to take you through the journey of our year together so far, the intentions we've set and the goals we've met, and how we've continued to strengthen our community together. Much of this year can be tracked back to the practice that sets us apart from our peers, our aggressive results-oriented strategic planning. Since incorporation, Citrus Heights has emphasized strategic planning to prioritize its policies, programs, services for the coming year. The city manager, the city council, the city manager, and executive team members participate in the goal objective setting process. It is a responsibility of the city manager to oversee implementation of the strategic plan, coordinating the city's operating departments and divisions. The 3-year goals set in 2021 are associated with the strategic plan are as follows. 1, maintain and enhance fiscal stability, maintain public infrastructure and enhance alternative modes of transportation. 3, diversify for a resilient economy. 4, preserve and enhance public safety. 5, enhance community and vibrancy and engagement. The City Council reviews the goals on regular increments and identifies a list of objectives to support the core goals. Implementation of these objectives is how the city achieves our shared vision for residents and businesses to prosper and thrive. Last year was a little bit different in that we had a new city manager last year, Ash Feeney. He brought a really important piece of strategic planning, and that was the focus area work plan. This is a document that he created, a very impressive document that has really a very long-term implications, and we use that to look at how we're going to set the goals. So coming out of the pandemic, the leadership, people hadn't gotten together much. They engaged in over 100 listening sessions along with deep data gathering to be able to center our strategic planning goals on community priorities. That data showed the Citrus Heights community priorities prioritized 4 core areas: communication, community connection, community image, economic development, and infrastructure. All of this community feedback was funneled into what we call a focus area work plan. I just mentioned that. a guiding document that serves as a targeted and concentrated strategic planning roadmap. This roadmap provides clarity of mission while actions build off one another for a bigger impact. Tonight, I'd like to walk you through all the good work that has been taking place in this year to advance our community priorities. The first one is community engagements, one that's near and dear to my heart. If there's anybody that knows anything about me, I just think about myself as being a listener. I don't necessarily come to the dais with my own ideas on how things should be. I really want to listen to the community. What does the community demand? And we balance that with what's reasonable policy. So especially coming out of COVID, we needed community events to really bring the community back together. So the first thing we did is we brought the Wall That Heals to Citrus Heights. One of the highlights of the year for me personally, is when we were able to assist the community veterans in bringing the Wall That Heals to the Veterans Memorial. The City Council allocated funding for this, and it was just a really well-done event right up to the time where it was going to be delivered. We knew weeks in advance, and then my mom fell ill and passed away, so I had to be out of state for that, or I didn't get to see it. But nonetheless, the feedback we got from the community was really remarkable. We hosted the first annual Stars and Stripes celebration and the fireworks show. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't vote for the fireworks show. I just wanted to have the event. But nonetheless, that was my personal feeling about it. But it seemed like the community really wanted to have the fireworks show. So certainly the council voted to have this fireworks show, and it was spectacular. So they all came together. About 3,500 people came to Van Maren Park, which is just behind City Hall here. And we had the live music from C.C. Seeger, had delicious food and spectacular fireworks show, capped off the evening fun. I was coming around the stage just before the fireworks show. All the music had ended, and the band had learned the Star Spangled Banner just for this particular event. They didn't know it before, and they did an amazing guitar solo. And when they hit the last note was when the first firework went off. And I came around the stage while the Star Spangled Banner was playing, and all these 3,500 people, my community, these people were on their feet with their hand over their heart. That was really what Citrus Heights is for me. That was a pretty amazing time, and it was completely just it was just impulsive. It was an amazing tribute to what a great country we live in and how freedom really reigns. So then we created City Scoop. City Scoop was 3 events across the city, and it was great. The first one was in July. We had 3 different areas. It was Leatherby's Family Creamery, which when he first started the idea for City Scoop, Leatherby's wasn't involved, but they heard about it and they said, we got to be involved in this. And the ice cream was fantastic. My wife loved the mango ice cream, but I only got one mango one time. It was a sold out show. So it was another great event. Then we had the final one was they actually had the 50s event at Leatherby's, which is another one. Was council dressed up, was very festive, it was really fantastic. Dr. Jana, Councilmember Middleton, and Jane Taff all got the Pink Lady jackets. And I tried to act like Fonzie. Had a little deck of cards and smoke, so I had a little deck of cards rolled up in my sleeve. But it was just a really fun time. It was really a moment just another moment where the community really was responding to all that we were doing. So during these events, certainly more and more people got to learn about got to learn about what the neighborhoods are about and who they are. We loosely call them neighborhood associations, but there's no dues, this is just completely, so we really want to sort of refer to the neighborhood associations as neighborhood areas. So, but at these events, they actually got to learn about some of our Complete Streets program. Auburn Boulevard was one that came up, and we also were talking about how the community can chip in. How can we all work together to make this community better? And it was just a great opportunity to have that discussion. So the other thing we did, which is great, we voted for this last year, and this was we launched the Citrus Heights Community Block Trailer. This is a trailer that has all of the things you could possibly want to have a block party. Tables, audio systems, it really is set up well for neighbors to get together. And it was another one where we really want to build a sense of community there. It has games and trash receptacles and all the things, like I said, you want to have together. We piloted the community grants project, launched a community grant project this year with American Rescue Plan Act funding, where the community we could achieve another connection with the community engaged in. We engage community groups in creative efforts to promote community involvement, pride, and connection by providing grants for special events and projects in Citrus Heights. The first round of funding supported an art event series by Citrus Heights Arts. And I wasn't able to attend that, but I heard from the community it was really well done. Really, we look forward to the next one. We also had the youth entrepreneurship program that was by Junior Achievement. And then we had cooking classes from the Sunrise Christian Ministry. Then we had an open mic and talent show. If you guys have never been over to the Royal Stage in Sunrise Mall, they're really a great group of people. I've been to a couple events there, and I think they're fantastic. And then finally, the Senior Friendship Bags coordinated by the Citrus Heights Women's Club. So even more in 24, connection is an important part of a community. In Citrus Heights, it's in our DNA. It really is. It's our connection and shared belief in creating something better together was the fuel for our 10-year fight for incorporation. Our network of neighborhood areas served as primary connection points to create these dreams. My passion to drive to be a community leader started in my own neighborhood, Area 5. And I began attending and participating in meetings and saw how my input and feedback could help to directly shape and improve my city. Is Rick Doyle here? There you are. Okay. So you can blame him for me being up here. He's one that he said, "Hey, Tim, let's go to breakfast." And I'm forever grateful, Rick, for you inviting me to breakfast that day. Okay, so residents have a direct connection to the city and with each other, and that's powerful. Speaking candidly, participation in neighborhood areas has ebbed over time. After being unable to meet during COVID, many of our neighborhood areas were at risk of going dormant. Another concern facing our neighborhoods was succession planning. We had so many great volunteers who had served a really long time, but we were really falling off as far as trying to create some succession for that. So I'm delighted to say that the city really stepped in and really created a coordinator. We had a coordinator initially, and that program kind of went away. And I'm glad to say that the city really did invigorate that, and it really has brought more new blood to our neighborhoods. One of those, through this process, we actually on a scholarship, we sent two of our new neighborhood members to Neighborhoods USA in El Paso, Texas. And boy, did they deliver. It was just amazing. I will say that I find it really moving that Natalie brought back, Natalie Price, if you just stand up, please, for a second, and stay standing for a minute. Not yet. Okay. All right. So what Natalie did was Natalie went to Neighborhoods USA, and she really brought back some really good, she brought back a Good Neighbor Week. With Good Neighbor Week, there was a campaign to promote neighborly acts of kindness and culminated in a community garage sale and a block party. Over 760 Good Neighbor acts were registered during Good Neighbor Week. That's a lot. Congratulations, Citrus Heights. You did a great job with that. That is so invigorating. And, as I traveled across the country, I kind of learned that I traveled just about to every state on business. And I find that of all of the states, California was the least friendly of all of them. And I want to say that with people like Natalie in our area, we can change that. And that's really, that really is important. It's important to me. So let's see here. So I went to the Good Neighbor. Okay, so like I said, well done, Natalie. 760 acts of good neighbors was just phenomenal. Baked goods, mowing lawns. So proud of Natalie's work. Let's give her a hand. I'm also so proud of the neighborhoods that are leading neighborhood areas, giving their time and talents to create community. If you're a neighborhood leader, neighborhood area leader, please stand up so we can honor you. And that means you too, Kathy Morris. Even though she retired, but thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. Kathy was just, she retired recently, but she was just a powerhouse. So I want you to know that those folks that are in the trenches, in the neighborhoods, and the neighborhood organizations, the city has your back. We're going to continue to support you. So I'm very excited to share our plans for 2024, announcing the Citrus Heights Neighborhood Engagement Network. I love the logo. Thank you so much, our communications team, for putting this together. This is just really brings home what I've just talked about. This network unifies our community engagement programming, our neighborhood areas, and reach. By layering all of this work, we achieve these three key benefits. We show that our community engagement programming is not city-owned. It's co-owned. It's co-authored by our community, and that's all of us working together. We gain the ability to introduce our network to neighborhood areas and new residents in a simple and inclusive way. We can engage residents at every level of participation and commit and ensure a place for everyone who desires to contribute. It's important to note that this does not change the names or functions of REACH or the neighborhood areas. It empowers us to talk about our collective community connection work in a simple and inclusive way. This program will be rolled out in the citywide mailer this November. It will invite residents to engage and share reasons why they should engage. It will invite residents to engage, the Citrus Heights Neighborhood Engagement Network is about connecting, having your voice heard, and collaborating for a positive change. We will continue to share the good work and the positive impact of the REACH and the neighborhood areas, and we aren't stopping there. We know that we have so many caring, interested residents, and we want to give them the information and the tools to create engagement. I'm excited to share that this is a part of our 2024 community engagement plans, and the city will host a neighborhood engagement community workshop. This workshop will foster community engagement, empowerment, and collaboration between the city, its residents, neighborhood areas, and community groups. The workshop will take participants through a 5-hour in-person facilitated training led by the Hopeful Neighborhood Project, a great partner found at this year's Neighborhoods USA conference. Here are some reasons that you should attend the workshop on February 10th. This workshop will provide a platform for residents to actively participate in shaping the future of their neighborhood while gaining valuable skills and knowledge. The event promotes collaboration and networking among residents and encourages partnership that can lead to shared resources and initiatives benefiting the neighborhoods. It is also designed to welcome diverse voices and perspectives, ensuring that all community members can contribute and be heard and foster a sense of belonging. The workshop is also a valuable opportunity for community members to come together, learn, collaborate, and actively participate by improving their neighborhoods. This strengthens community bonds, empowers residents, and promotes positive change, ultimately creating a more vibrant and connected city. Registration opens on January 3rd. The seats are available for up to 50 community members, and it's completely free to all participants, and includes a continental breakfast and lunch, training offered by the Good Neighbor Project, and a goodie bag filled with a swag that will help you connect with your neighborhood. Isn't that exciting? And isn't that a show of support from the city for the neighborhoods? What a welcome change. Moving on to our next priority area, community image. Citrus Heights has been guided by 3 principles since incorporation in 1997: local control, fiscal prudence, and public safety. City incorporation was in large part about neighbors and business owners wanting to control of their destiny, not continually working towards continually working towards a better community. Community image and the local environment has long been important to Citrus Heights. Having a positive image can have a major impact on the quality of life for residents, sustainability for existing businesses, attracting new investment, and overall community pride. While the overall image of and reputation of Citrus Heights are positive, blighted commercial properties and challenges associated with people experiencing homelessness were having a negative impact on the local environment. We set out to break these cycles with a comprehensive toolbox of innovative solutions that together can beautify our city. First tool that we brought out was increased collaboration. When we set out to make progress on blight issues, we did so in a data-based way. We looked at hotspots and the frequent problem areas, and we hear from most of our community. Many of these blight issues were taking place just outside of our city borders or in public places overseen by other agencies. Our city team performed proactive outreach and collaboration to increase cleanup and enforcement in these areas. Have you seen the results on I-80 and Antelope? And that I-80 and Antelope interchange? For those who didn't see it, it was a horrible and enormous homeless camp there. It was a mess. It took a couple of days to get that cleaned up. This is where a combination of collaboration with Caltrans, vegetation management, and consistent patrol have yielded great results. I hope you've also seen the results at the Sylvan Library, where we worked with the Sacramento Public Library System, the Sunrise Recreation and Park District, the Sacramento Area Sewer District to collaborate on creative solutions that uplifted the environment, including recent installation of fencing and with more improvements to come. We are working with all the involved partners to ensure our library is a place where residents are comfortable to visit. Our second tool is a proactive abatement. To help create progress and proactively fight blight, Citrus Heights created a beautification crew program. Beautification crew is a two-person full-time crew with a fully stocked truck and proactively maintaining public areas. This includes removing abandoned carts as well as unlawful camps and weed abatement. Illegal dumps, trash, graffiti, illegal signs on poles in public spaces. In the past 11 months, the crew has picked up over 70 tons of trash and debris from our city. And that's more than 10 African bush elephants. Okay, Megan. I know so Megan, we talked about this. Megan had in here, was it 30 giraffes? Something like that? Yes. Okay. So my wife and I were going over this last night. She said, wow, let's do something really heavy. Giraffe isn't really heavy. So anyhow, so our third tool is effective consequences. Like other communities, Citrus Heights has experienced increased levels of visible blight, largely attributed to illegal dumping, neglected littering, inattentive property owners, and transient activity. These challenges adversely affect Citrus Heights businesses and threaten economic vitality of our community and the quality of life for our residents. This current complex situation is a result of many factors outside of the city's control, which include but are not limited to relevant case law related to unlawful camping, lack of affordable housing, and historical lack of local resources to proactively address blight. Rather than utilizing the overburdened district attorneys and prosecuting the standard way via the criminal code, we have leveraged our local control and created our own solutions. Citrus Heights Police Department has created the Chronic Nuisance Offender Program and Community Prosecutor Program. That leverages municipal codes and ordinances to create repeat offenders and build cases. No longer can we wait for other agencies to give consequences to bad actors in our community. Through this program, we're ensuring our collective standards to be a good neighbor are upheld and that there are eventually consequences for bad actors. Our fourth tool is effective policy. Stray and misused shopping carts were a big contributor to blight. Working with our business community, we implemented a shopping cart ordinance that requires measures to ensure shopping carts do not leave the sites where they belong. When they are taken offsite from businesses, they often become unsightly obstacles that find their way into our neighborhoods and creek corridors. Our fifth tool is supportive prevention services. Citrus Heights showed the region how resourceful we are this year and how we addressed the losing critical homeless prevention services. In June, Sacramento Self-Help Housing and the affiliated Homeless Navigator service abruptly dissolved. Our city leadership immediately began evaluating alternative options to backfill this loss. And we did. I mean, there was a lot of really tough work that went into developing what the strategy was going to be. The city approached the Sacramento County to consider a partnership, the first in our area. In September, after much work behind the scenes, again, that was in June, so we went about 3 months trying to figure out what we're going to do. After much work behind the scenes, the City Council unanimously approved a partnership with the Sacramento County Department of Homeless Services and Housing and Sacramento Covered. That program will deploy community health workers to our community to support our unhoused neighbors with information, referrals to services, housing, and other services. Our final tool to combat blight might be the most important. It's our community. It's you. It's all of our residents in Citrus Heights. It's the city's responsibility to dedicate resources to community priorities to enforce codes and standards. It's our residents who can truly make our city be welcoming and beautiful. If you ever driven by our commercial commercial corridors lately, you've probably seen large signs and pole banners emblazoned with colorful logo and thoughtful phrase, Citrus Heights Cares, beautifying our city together. Citrus Heights Cares is an invitation to our community to beautify our community together by proactively reporting blight issues, maintaining residential and commercial properties to prevent blight, and chipping in to make our community better. So I just want to, there's one person here who's not really seen any recognition, but I see her out in the community. She's a very much an animal lover, and I appreciate the work that she's doing. I just want to, would Melissa Hayden stand up, please? Here she is over here. She and her friends, I'm sorry, what was your, Karen, can Karen stand up as well? Karen is also, they really are trying to be good community members and finding stray animals back to their homes. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. So finally, economic development. Moving on to our third focus area, a question we hear a lot, as I hear a lot as mayor, is what's happening with the Sunrise Mall. The mall is another pivotal part of the Citrus Heights story and has served as one of our economic engines. We embarked on and approved the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan because taking charge of our town, of our own future, is what we do best. The approval of the plan triples the potential density of the site and opens it up to new uses like multifamily housing, hotels, employment centers, and community uses. Since the plan's passage, city leadership has worked to identify the next critical steps that could help catalyze that development. For instance, various infrastructure improvements are needed to support a build-out of the plan. Earlier this year, the city commissioned an infrastructure strategies, financing strategy to identify financing tools for improvement. City staff have also pursued potential grants that could help mitigate development costs for public-oriented improvements. The city does not own the mall site. I hear this all the time. The city should do something about the mall. We don't own the mall. But the city does not own the mall site, and its redevelopment will ultimately be driven by the property owners bringing forward projects consistent with the planned vision. The city staff are assisting with business development, facilitating project discussions, and connecting mall owners, property owners with interested developers. As a direct result of this work, the city received a parcel map application that serves as a first step in developing a hotel at the corner of Sunrise Boulevard and Greenback Lane. The application is under review and anticipated to move forward for consideration this winter. And I just want to talk about this so that there was a lot of work that went into the Sunrise Tomorrow plan. And the reason we went to that effort was we wanted to try to remove some of the obstacles for development. Some of the questions, if a developer comes in and says, oh, well, I have to do an EIR, what's all that involved? So we tried to envision, and I really commend staff for this, try to envision what the uses were, and then do a full environmental impact report around those. So you can say, hey, I don't like the housing here, I don't like that. The idea is this is just sort of, we're creating a blank slate. Something that says, okay, these are all the uses that can go into this property, and we've removed some of the risk for developers to come in. So, all right. So we also, just as we have leveraged the tools for to steward the Sunrise Mall future, we've also created tools to attract new business to the city. We know the community wants more amenities like non-chain sit-down restaurants and entertainment. As a resident, I do too. The good news is we have exciting new business coming soon, like Umle Beer House and the Oyster Bar. Those are both at Sylvan Corners. We look forward to them opening. They chose these locations because the buildings were turnkey and manageable and had manageable tenant improvements. Many of the available commercial buildings in the Citrus Heights are older and require more improvements. Additionally, the types of businesses our community desires require significant tenant improvement and investments. To help address these capital requirements and attract new business, the Citrus Heights City Council unanimously approved a $1 million business attraction incentive program to provide grants for new restaurants, craft breweries, and entertainment businesses. Eligible businesses can apply for funding that can be used for relocation, operating equipment, and other startup expenses. Like Sunrise Tomorrow, this is all our hope that this program can be used to transform and reimagine some of our existing commercial centers into new destinations. Moving on to the next community priority is infrastructure. This needs no introduction, as I think we can say. Anybody who's driving around the roads in Citrus Heights, they need some work. We have a deep understanding of the firsthand experience as why this is a priority area. We've committed to a new level of investment to roads. The fact of the matter is, poor roadway conditions through the city are a continuing challenge. To improve all of the roads to a satisfactory pavement standard will cost more than $90 million. Additionally, there will be an ongoing significant maintenance cost in excess of $13 million per year, with spikes in specific years to address larger roadway conditions. The city does not have a current revenue stream to fully address these challenges. However, we have implemented strategic pavement management strategies that give the most return on investment. Critical to project planning, our recently adopted budget also reallocates needed staffing to General Services Department to build capacity for increased infrastructure and investment delivery projects. As capacity grows, the City Council will need to allocate additional general fund reserve monies towards infrastructure improvements. Significant roadway projects in the pipeline will help make visible progress to the important issue in the next few years. I want to touch on that, and I really want to point out a gentleman who's here who's really been a team player for our city, and that is our General Services Department has some challenges from too many things to do and not enough staff. And I want to express my thanks, my deep, sincere thanks to Casey Campen, our community development manager, for giving up one of his positions that person could be allocated to General Services. So thank you very much, Casey. I really appreciate that. I'm delighted to report that the Crippled Creek Trail project is underway. Construction of this 2.9-mile multi-use trail is expected to be completed in the coming months, just in time for ribbon cutting this spring. This trail segment will stretch from Sunrise Boulevard to Watchtower Way, connecting neighborhoods, parks, schools, shopping, and more. Additional information on the celebratory trail opening will be shared with the community as construction wraps up. We're adding new housing. Another transformative project that enhances our infrastructure is Mitchell Village. Mitchell Village is the largest single-family development in Citrus Heights history, in recent Citrus Heights history, with 260 homes. It is nearing completion at Sunrise Boulevard and Greenback Lane. The project transforms a former 55-acre golf course into the neighborhood comprised of 20 acres of open space and 35 acres of homes. This is adjacent to the Sunrise Marketplace and its dining, entertainment, and shopping and employment hub. Coming full circle, the project includes construction of an approximately 1/2-mile multi-use trail that connects the city's Arcade Cripple Creek Trail. That trail system is going to be amazing. Somebody, I had a realtor call me up and say, hey, you guys have trails at Citrus Heights, and how many ever completed? We had 1 mile. Now we're going to have almost looks like 3.5 miles, maybe 4.5 miles. So that's really exciting. We're focused on the maintenance and modernization of infrastructure. We completed our 2022 residential resurfacing program and implemented complete streets projects. For those that don't know what complete streets means, streets really do have, complete streets can mean sidewalks, ADA, that's American Disability Act, access, undergrounding utilities. It really is modernizing streets that typically wouldn't have curbs, wouldn't have any sidewalks or anything like that, improving safety and walkability in our city. We're expediting beautification and refurbishment of our public right-of-ways. We've beautified medians, sound walls, and more to make sure we are putting our best foot forward and upholding our own standards of beautification. I know you guys have been waiting for this. In conclusion, as we reflect on the state of the city, it is evident that we have made remarkable strides towards a brighter future. Our community's resourcefulness, care, and unwavering dedication to progress have made all the difference. Through the collaborative efforts, we have addressed key challenges, advanced initiatives, and stewarded our future. These achievements underscore the strengths of our collective determination and our ability to overcome obstacles for the greater good. However, we acknowledge that there are always more work to be done. We must continue to prioritize our shared principles of local control, fiscal prudence, and public safety, as well as our community's needs. We all must do our own part by engaging, participating, and showing up. By fostering stronger partnerships and engaging our residents, we can achieve our mission to make Citrus Heights the city of choice for residences and businesses to prosper and thrive. Together, we will create a future that we'll be proud to pass on to generations to come. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause for Mayor Schaefer. What a great roundup of the year in Citrus Heights. Now I'd like to introduce our final speaker of the evening, City Manager Ash Feeney.
Well, thank you, Mayor, for celebrating all those great accomplishments and milestones we've accomplished over the last year. That was terrific to hear that address. And one of the things that I think is very admirable about our mayor and our city council is how much they care about quality of life issues. You heard throughout the address there a real focus on continuing to improve the community and leaving it better than when you found it. And so I personally admire that, and I appreciate all the work that you and the council do in that regard. So thank you, and one more round of applause there. Well, good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. And or if you're tuning in, watching this on our website, our YouTube channel, or through our broadcast partner, Metro Cable 14, thank you for being here. I'm Ashley Feeney, and I'm honored to be your city manager. We're making sure that this event is accessible to everyone in our community on a variety of channels because we prioritize transparency and equitable access when we're talking about local government. We hope that by the time you're done listening or viewing, you learn something new tonight and feel excited and proud about where your city's headed, the city's future. When I reflect on all that the mayor shared. It makes me so proud of our leadership, our staff, our community, and all the progress we've made together this year. It was at last year's State of the City where all the detailed goals were laid out for community connection, infrastructure, community image, and economic development. This year, we're able to look back on that robust body of work that was created over the course of the last year, and it's truly making a difference for our residents and businesses. While there's much to be proud of from our aggressive and focused strategic planning work, the work doesn't stop there. Your city leadership and team works hard across departments, disciplines, projects, and initiatives every day to take care of Citrus Heights and the continued mission of achieving higher aspirations. No day or project is the same, but I can guarantee there's some common threads pulling all of them together. Our work is always rooted in Citrus Heights' guiding principles of fiscal prudence, public safety, and local control. Those really are three core pillars for this community. And I'd like to share with you how those principles are being honored and continually reinforced in the work that we do here every day. This was a big year for our city and our team. It was the start of a new 2-year budget cycle. This is a big undertaking in any city, but especially here in Citrus Heights, it was especially important because fiscal prudence is held to the highest standard in everything that we do. Additionally, City Council and staff share the belief that a budget should really be a statement of the community values and priorities. And beginning in January of this year, city staff collaborated on preparing a budget focused on providing high levels of service in an environment of rising costs. We're all familiar with that. While setting our organization up to make advancements on City Council priorities. I'm happy to report that the City Council unanimously approved a very forward-looking budget on May 25th of 2023. The approved budget reflects Citrus Heights' commitment to fiscal prudence. Despite continued increases in maintenance and operating costs, the city's continued its efforts to create cost-effective expenditures to offset those rising costs. The balanced budget carefully examined historical expenditure trends, as well as current and foreseeable operating needs. Lean budget principles were utilized to create even more efficiencies, ensuring dollars were maximized in areas of the greatest need. You heard the mayor speak to that, where we reallocated resources amongst departments to really kind of get a handle on some of our key focus areas of infrastructure, and it was a huge team effort. I really applaud all our department heads and staff that participated in that effort. But this next 2-year budget that we put together is definitely community-facing and forward-looking. Fiscal prudence means giving attention to every single dollar. And this budget is aligned with our strategic focus areas of community image, addressing blight and homelessness issues, economic development, community connection, and of course, infrastructure. As Mayor Schaefer shared, this budget provides significant general fund expenditures for street repairs. And this is really seeing significant dollars coming from the general fund. This is the first time in the city's history that we're seeing that. And for this fiscal year of 23-24, it's $2 million of additional money that's being injected into street repairs. And for next fiscal year of 24-25, it's $4 million. And in our long-range forecast, we continue to have that $4 million thereafter. So it takes a while to plan some of those projects and get them designed and get them bid out, but you will see a significant increase in construction activity relative to streets and roadways here. Still talking about fiscal prudence, it's an important topic. So fiscal prudence doesn't just stop with sound financial decision-making for the moment. It also means financial security to weather rainy days. This is very important. I've always been a believer in planning for rainy days. We all know that they come. And if you joined us at the State of the City last year, that was my first in this new role. You would have heard me talk about a fiscal reach goal that I had of increasing our target minimum reserve from 17%, which is our required minimum, to a target goal of 25%. And having a reserve balance in excess of the minimum level will help us ride out those economic speed bumps and take advantage of unique opportunities where a community priority needs some extra funding to get us over the finish line. Helps us be opportunistic. It's very important to have money over above your minimum reserve so we can take advantage of those opportunities when they come. I'm very happy to report that our current budget projections for the fiscal year 23-24 budget projects an ending general fund reserve balance of nearly $20 million for this fiscal year and nearly $17 million for the next fiscal year. This balance is in excess of the targeted reserve goal of 25% of total general fund expenditures. A healthy reserve balance ensures funds are available in times of economic uncertainty. And it also addresses operational needs as they come up. And it positions the city, again, speaking about opportunistic, to take advantage of strategic infrastructure grant opportunities that have matching requirements. That helps us maximize city funds. Let's talk a little bit more about that last part on grant opportunities. Fiscal prudence doesn't just mean stewarding our general fund dollars, it means relentlessly pursuing new and diverse revenue opportunities. And those help us create an even bigger impact. For instance, over the last year and a half, we budgeted the one-time $15 million allocation of American Rescue Plan Act funding transparently and directly toward community priorities. ARPA-funded initiatives included the Small Business Grant Recovery Program. They also included the beautification program that the mayor spoke to earlier, and the Business Attraction Incentive Program, amongst many other programs that were provided under those funds. And this last year marked an even bigger achievement. So city staff pursued and were awarded in excess of $23 million in grant funding, and that's a city record. So that's 23 million reasons to clap, all right? So, all right. That really is a fantastic accomplishment, and we're not stopping there. Last year, your city council set a strategic objective to create a comprehensive grant strategy. This is an extensively researched inventory of all available grants that match our priorities and our projects. There are many benefits of creating and implementing a comprehensive grant strategy. Moving from a more ad hoc to holistic strategy will allow the city to achieve increased success with grants. Consolidated and strategic grant efforts create that ability to prioritize the most important initiatives and match them up with the most appropriate funding opportunities. It's a very strategic objective. Staff worked to scope and facilitate the creation of a grant strategy that was launched this past July and is now being implemented by a cross-departmental working group. And I'm excited to report that this initiative has already had its first success story. It's already bearing fruit. Last month, we received word that we were awarded $2.9 million for organized retail theft prevention grant from the state. Citrus Heights Police Department submitted a top 10 application in the medium scope category with support from our comprehensive grant strategy and procured funding that will help us achieve new progress in our work to improve community image and also maintain our public safety. Our team has been winning at the grant game, and that's across all disciplines. I'm really proud of their work on this front, bringing dollars here to Citrus Heights. Let's talk about the guiding principle of public safety. It's one of the core reasons Citrus Heights became a city in the first place. The city has built a first-class police department, and it continues to drive down crime year over year. I could not be prouder of the men and women that come to work each day committed to doing their very best to keep our city safe from harm. It's important to recognize that first-class police departments aren't built in a day, and they should never be taken for granted. Organizations focused on achieving organizational excellence and service require continued care to maintain that standard. The last few years have been hard on the department. When staffing levels were down, and candidly, there was a lot of deferred vehicle and equipment maintenance that needed to be addressed that was also impacting morale. Over the last year, your city manager and your police chief were really acutely focused. I've got a good partner in my police chief, Alex Turcott, and together we took this head on. We were acutely focused on addressing the core issues that were impacting retention and recruitment of police officers and staff. Together, we scoped the issues. We had conversations with our city council about these matters, but most importantly, we took action items to city council for consideration. And I want you to know that your council, they had great questions to confirm their understanding. They offered good perspective and ideas. And ultimately, they supported these recommendations through unanimous votes every step of the way. This was a lot of work to get done on big issues in a relatively short amount of time. I want to acknowledge everyone who was involved in this effort and in this process, and our city council for their work on this important issue. Ensuring safety and crime prevention is and always will be paramount. But we're not stopping there. Your city leadership has taken a holistic approach to focus on quality of life issues like homelessness prevention, blight hotspots, and dealing with bad actors in public spaces. Our offers to support our beautification crew to serve notice to illegal camps. Our officers are committed to proactively patrolling hotspots to dissuade unlawful activity. Chief Turcotte and his leadership team are working with our officers to promote a culture of accountability with a focus on chronic nuisance offenders who present a resource drain on our community. While some communities are really struggling on how to grasp to deal with these quality of life issues, your city staff and police department, we're leaning in to improve Citrus Heights' quality of life here. Our police department keeps our community safe, and their collaboration with their city hall partners are making a difference on quality of life matters. I really appreciate everyone that's involved in these efforts. It's so important. That's why people come to a place to live and put their business, because of the quality of life in that community. So thank you very much for your efforts. Can we give them a round of applause? And that brings us to our overarching principle of why Citrus Heights became a city: local control. Heard the mayor talk about this. And one of the most significant examples of local control in Citrus Heights history is the adoption of the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan to reimagine the 100-acre Sunrise Mall. According to Capital One Shopping Research, the United States is home to an estimated 1,150 shopping malls. Some sources project that by 2032, with all the changes that are happening within the marketplace, there may be as few as 150 malls still in operation. Projections indicate that up to 87% of large shopping malls may close over the next 10 years. Closed malls are empty for an average of 3 years and 11 months, almost 4 years. What happens to cities and communities they leave behind? For suburbs built around these malls, decline and closure can mean a loss of jobs, revenue, and community gathering space. When cities look for solutions, they're met with several unique challenges, including complex rezoning and infrastructure planning to support reuse, attracting new uses and restrictive market conditions, and building consensus among mall owners, stakeholders, and the community. Citrus Heights is a few steps ahead of other communities, leveraging local control to proactively steward the future of our mall. The city leveraged planning tools and proactive economic development strategy, creating a vision to eventually transform the 100-acre retail center into a vibrant and diverse community hub and economic engine. With its adoption 2 years ago, in November 2021, the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan provides the opportunity to triple the potential density of the site, and it opens it up to new uses like multifamily housing, hotels, and also employment centers. A lot of opportunity across that canvas. While Citrus Heights began the specific plan process in 2019, pre-COVID, Sunrise Tomorrow has become even more relevant and valuable post-COVID. Aging B and C class regional malls are now spiraling from the effects of the pandemic, and owners are converting uses to uses like distribution centers and warehousing. While that may be a good fit for some communities, that does nothing for communities like Citrus Heights. Original suburbs that are hungry for downtown areas, places to gather and create community, that need new economic engines. The specific plan protects the site from undesired uses and stewards a proactive, bright future, however long it may take to come to fruition. Because here's the candid reality. Current market conditions and high interest rates, they're discouraging new development right now anywhere. To achieve our 21st Main Street, our community and leadership will have to hold to the vision and be selective. The good news is we're not wasting the hang time. We're doing the steep development analysis and project preparation that Mayor Schaefer spoke to in his address. When market conditions turn again, and they will, we'll be ready to capitalize on that upswing with turnkey project opportunities that offer certainty and profitability for developers while achieving the Sunrise Tomorrow vision of a mixed-use destination and economic engine for our community. What an amazing year. Yeah, thank you. Hearing Mayor Schaefer talk about all those excellent community events and the increased advancements in community engagement that we've achieved, that put a huge smile on my face, and I know it put a big smile on everybody else's face here too. Some fantastic events that we all enjoyed, and you really can kind of feel that community building, and it was inspiring hearing you talk about what you witnessed at the Stars and Stripes event. I too, I think everybody there had warmth in their heart, and that was pretty amazing. And, you know, we achieved that together as a community. I mean, that's something that all these accomplishments, everybody should be very proud of. And there's no way that, and actually I'm going to back up here before I speak to this. I just wanted to note one thing that you'll hear about, kind of that common thread throughout the work your city council and staff do, is we are, and you heard it in his address, we're focused on the quality of life. We're focused on the quality of life for our residents and our businesses every day and everything that we're doing. And as I mentioned, quality of life is why people and businesses choose to call a community home. So it's important that we always are mindful of that in the work that we do here, and I know that your city council's committed to that and your city staff team are too. I mean, improving the quality of life for other people is what drives me to serve in my job and in my role, and I'm just so grateful that I'm surrounded by people here on the city staff team that share that same focus. You know, even though Mayor Schaefer and I shared so much with you tonight, there's no way we could reflect the quantity and quality of all the accomplishments we achieved together. That's why we put together a year in review. That's the handout flyer that was on your chair this evening. And that flyer details month-by-month milestones, as well as quantitative metric achievements from the last year. For those viewing on our website, YouTube channel, or on Metro Cable 14, you can visit www.citrusheights.net/SOTC to view the year of review. I'm so impressed with this body of work that our city staff team has been able to address over the course of the last year. Really well done. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of them, grateful to them for all that they do in serving the community. Really, really well done, team. You know, it's our hope that you've heard something new in our time together that gives you new insight into how your city works and have had a chance to reflect on what we've accomplished together. As I've spoken to in the past, we're all stewards of that dream that was started so many years ago. Together, we continue to honor that vision by focusing on the promise of tomorrow as we collectively write that next chapter for Citrus Heights community. The horizon for Citrus Heights continues to be full of promise, and the best days are always going to be ahead of us. So thank you for coming tonight, and I appreciate all you do for the community.